I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Reyes Reflection podcast, where we are always free to subscribe. Keep up to date with me and what the show is doing at I'm Nathanael Reyes on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, OnlyFans. Customarily got to talk about those folks that help pay the bills. ARAVE Cards, Jocko Fuel, SMACKIN Sunflower Seeds, and Mad Rabbit Tattoo Aftercare. Link in my bio for exclusive deals. Our guest on this episode is a stand-up comic, humanitarian, minivan dweller, and the one who has made Fruit of the Loom a legal currency in the United States. That's right, his shows cost you cotton as an entry fee, a package of socks or underwear. Born in Bosnia, raised in Detroit, this guy has performed in comedy clubs, homeless shelters, Waffle Houses, nursing homes, and much more. Probably your backyard. You never know. Who knows? He's living proof that you can make a difference and still be ridiculously funny at the same time. He's cracked jokes in the darkest corners of America, not just for laughs, but also for the connection of humans and for a clean pair of briefs. Please welcome the one, the only, the hilarious Elvis Ali to the show.
And the crowd goes wild. Calm down, everybody.
Yeah, woo, woo, woo.
Thank you for that. Listen, I'd like to I'd like to do an intro for you.
This is a first. Please do an intro
right.
for me. Let's hear it. I'm excited. Yes.
All right. If you don't know this man and you're listening, then you are crazy because you're a wonderful person. I've listened to some of your podcasts just to, get ready a little bit. This Nathanael, podcaster, actor, educator, aka Dong Oprah. He's a man of faith. He won't push it on you. All right. Loves dogs. Hides his New England accent. It comes out when the R's, era. Era. Say error. Say era. Era.
Era.
There you go. Not era. He means error. Nathanael is a man of weak ankles. All right. He is like a newborn calf. He's had 3 knee surgeries. He's a bionic man. 7 brothers. He survived the gauntlet of having 7 brothers, folks. My goodness. His mom used to beat him, and it was a good thing. He has a background in early childhood education. He used to teach kids, but he asked too many questions. He bucked the system, and like many great teachers, he had to leave.
I'm fucking dead.
Dong Oprah himself, Nathanael Reyes, everybody. Oh,
dude, I gotta ask you, did you personally contact any of my brothers, my mom? Because that is spot on everything about my life, dude. You were just on fire, man. That is dead on, dude. You are the man. That is hilarious. I've never had somebody have an intro about me. I'm going to clip that up and put that everywhere because that is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's just out of respect for the Dong of Oprah's, Dong Oprah himself.
Dong Oprah. Oprah,
Yes.
Oprah with a male genitalia. That's right. Maybe
right.
I got to start saying that instead of Oprah as a dude. I like Dong Oprah better. He's hanging low. Yeah.
Pay your respects from Dong Oprah.
Dude, and you want to know what's funny? You just brought up my New England accent. The other day, so my family, they're super, super strong with their R's. They say things like years, get upstairs, all that stuff. And I caught myself on a podcast and I said years. And I'm like, fuck, I got caught. And so I look at my family. I go, I'm hanging out with you guys too fucking much because I'm over here now saying years and all this stuff. And I try my best to not have that Bostonian New England accent come out. But occasionally it does. Sometimes our environment, we can't escape it, right? It's just the environment that we're growing up in, I guess. That's what it is.
I love the New England accent. I love it. I think it's a wonderful accent.
On behalf of your intro, thank you so much, man. Time is the best currency, and I appreciate that you took the time to go ahead and do an intro for me. I've never had somebody ask me that, and I don't think anybody will ever top that. Now that you know everything about me, Um, let's start at the beginning. So you were born in Bosnia, but you grew up in Detroit. How did that move happen?
Uh, the two words, the Bosnian genocide.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was young, so I don't really remember that kind of stuff. But yeah, we moved here after the Bosnian War.
It's a big deal in a lot of countries. It's unfortunate what they go through, and they move here to get a better life. So I'm glad that you were able to do that, because you would not be doing the work that you do at this current juncture in your life. But it's kind of heavy that you had to go through that. Have you been able to visit since then, or is that something that you just turned away from?
Yeah, I visited as a late teen, but never as an adult. I wish I could go back as an adult. So not lately, not in the last decade.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
What do you mean?
yeah,
You
I've been
look
back.
you look like you're 26. What do you mean? You look phenomenal.
26 with cancer.
In remission.
Remission.
I'm very tongue in cheek. I love to go ahead and spar back and forth. Like, it's so good. That's what comedians do, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but I feel like every time I've been, they're always jousting back and forth with crowds if they go ahead and they try to be flippant. And it's almost like a one up. Like, hey, you think you can get up stage and fucking do this? Get your ass up here. Otherwise, sit your ass down and stay there.
Yeah, it's your. I think from being from New England, that's your love language, being an asshole.
Oh my goodness, you're totally right. If I'm not an
Uh,
asshole to you, I don't like you. Like, it's funny you say that. There's so many times where I'm like annoyingly flippant to somebody else, and they will then say to my friends or my loved ones and be like, Jesus, does Nathanael hate me? And they literally look at him and they go, no, he loves you. What? How does he love me if he's doing that? No, that's how he tells you he loves you. He's gonna tease you, he's gonna pick on you, he's gonna laugh at you, he's gonna make fun of you. That's what he does, but he wants you to do it back to him, and that's what life is all about. I don't take myself too seriously.
oh, I'll roast you. How's
Yeah,
speaking of roasting and how's your
please.
knee? You had a is your knee? Are you healing? Are you doing better?
No, I'm old. I got
Oh,
scar tissue. I thought I was gonna be a pro athlete, Elvis. I was gonna be a pro athlete. Don't worry. If there was only 2 or 3 things that went my way, I could have been on in the NFL. Like all these armchair quarterbacks that you have every Sunday. Don't worry. 2 or 3 things went my way, I would have been able to. Part of that is genetics, right? If I was 6'1", maybe, and if I was 220 pounds, but I'm neither of those things. I could be 220 pounds if I just consumed 6,000 calories a day, but that's besides the
so
point.
he's not doing better. You're not doing better.
Yes and no. I mean, on a rudimentary sense, like walking and doing that type of stuff, yes, I'm back into doing that, but I'm very active and I love to go to the gym and do that shit, and I can't right now. And so in some ways yes, in some ways no, because I can't even properly go downstairs right now. So no, that's why it's like yes to be able to get up out of bed, walk, brush my teeth, which wipe my own ass, which is something I wasn't able to do a couple months ago. Yes, but in terms of like what I want to do, not really, unfortunately. But I'm hoping to get there at some point.
If you don't mind me asking.
Go ahead. What would you ask? Go ahead.
I said, how old are you? If you don't mind me
Oh
asking.
no, no, I don't. No. Please don't ask. I'm insecure. 30. I'm gonna be 32.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're peaking. This is your physical peak.
This is my prime, right? Yes,
Yeah, I mean, technically, right?
I had a dude say that to me at a convenience store down the street near where I live. He goes, one day we were talking, and I told him this was before my knee surgery. I told him I was going to get a knee surgery. And he was like, same thing that you said. He's like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I said, I just turned 31 at the time. And I'm going to be 32 next year, whatever, something like that. And he goes, so you're in the best shape of your life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. And I was
He was
like,
trying to.
I'm like, where is this convo going? What are we doing here? And he was just like, no, nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, as a 32-year-old man, everything works. And he's like gyrating in a sense and pointing to everything. Nice guy, great guy, but I'm just like, huh. I mean, cognitively, I feel great, sure. Emotionally, I feel mature, yeah. Physically, not the best since the knee surgery, but I feel like I'll get there. Sexually, I don't know if I'll ever get there. I don't know if I'll ever be in my
Same
prime.
here.
Yeah,
It
I
only
mean,
gets worse.
bro, I hit my prime if I'm 3-4 minutes in. What do you mean? That's prime. That's peak. All right.
They're killing it.
Oh shit, that's hilarious. Yeah. So, thank you for asking. Better, but not where I want to be. For the people who heard that tangent and that soliloquy of my sex drive and my sex life. There's a little dive into that. Only Elvis was able to extract that out of me. Okay, nobody else. I feel well acclimated with Elvis now that he did an intro for me.
That's nice that you have an option. If you ever want to go, gay or bisexual, you can go down to the liquor store and talk to that fellow.
Were you always a tongue-in-cheek kind of guy? Was comedy always a big role for you in childhood, or was that something that
Yeah.
later on in life you're like, hey, I just want to go ahead and roast people and be a dick?
Yeah, it's very natural. It's just the way I communicate to try to make people just happy around you. That's the goal.
Yeah. Right. What works best for you? Do you ever find people that are like incredibly sarcastic? Do you find people that are almost depressive in a way? Like you've seen that comedy, right? Where they're almost lethargic, but they're still able to show their satire through that. What works for you?
What works for me is, I guess, assessing whatever's in the situation, like live, just whatever's happening, and then
Reading the room,
going
right?
off of that. Yeah, whatever is best for that group, because you have different crowds. Sometimes you can't. It's different performing at a bar and at a like church.
Yeah.
You gotta adjust, And I don't mind that. I used to mind that kind of stuff, but now I get it. Oh, I like all kinds of comedy. I'm not against any kind of funny. So
Yeah.
I like it all.
Yeah. Do you find it tougher to perform in a church? Like, obviously, you're not going to make sex jokes or pastor jokes. I mean, do you? I don't know. Like,
It can be tougher. I
yeah,
think the younger you are, the tougher it can be.
yeah,
Then I'm 35, so I guess it's a little easier now.
yeah.
No, it's not. It can be a little tougher as far as like the material. You have to really cater it, or you just can't do certain things. And I
Okay.
don't want to do certain things.
Yeah,
But the goal is always just to make people happy.
yeah.
So
I read that you hiked the Appalachian Trail. Is that true?
that is true. Yeah.
What was that like?
2011. That was a big journey. It took
Yeah.
5 months. The Appalachian Trail, as the locals say it.
Oh, okay. Did I say
Appalachia.
it wrong?
I don't know. I guess that's how they say it.
You-
It was crazy. It's over 2,000 miles. The trail goes from Georgia to Maine. You go
Mhm.
through Massachusetts. You might
Yeah,
get Lyme disease in Lyme, Connecticut. Who
yeah.
knew? I got Lyme disease, so I had to go through that. It was
No shit.
yeah.
I've heard that people sleep all together during that trip. Is that something that you did? Is that something you explored?
Yeah, we all have. Yeah, you gotta get close to your brothers out there and sisters and dogs. Yeah, sometimes they sleep in these shelters. I think that's what you're referencing. They have these like
Yes.
three-walled
Yes.
wooden shelters.
Yeah.
And usually there's enough space.
Did I say it in a way that could be misconstrued? Oh man. Oh jeez.
Yeah, no, there's nothing sexual about that
Yeah.
trail. It's so disgusting out there as far as
Yeah.
like the stink and yeah. So there's nothing. You lose your if you're a overly sexual person, you'll lose it out there.
Yeah.
It's just it's rough. Yeah, you
Yep.
do sleep in these shelters, but at a certain point I stopped doing the shelters and I just had like a tent, and you just after you could stop wherever and
Yeah.
yeah, the tent.
I had a buddy who did that, and
Oh,
I think part of it goes through Virginia or West Virginia or whatever, and he was like talking about how he learned a lot of folklore out there just because of his time out there. Like he learned about Mothman for the first time out there, and so I just think it's pretty cool that you're able to be in all these states. And yes, it's a grueling experience for sure, hiking for almost half a year, but it's got to be pretty cool to be able to say you did it. Yeah, you went through some shit. You got some Lyme disease, but I mean, pretty freaking cool experience, I would say the least. I mean, I wish I could have done that back in my early 20s for sure.
it was a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you meet and so many different people. I have an appreciation for Appalachia culture and people, and it's like a real old part of America,
Yeah.
the Appalachian folk, and they're just wild. You can't tame those people, Appalachian people. They're just they're wild people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Cult
love that
like.
experience. Cult like.
I'm
There's
teasing.
some, there's some cult like people. There's some, everything out there. They're wild. There's certain drug use, I suppose, a little bit of incest, but it's
That's why
all
you shaved your head. That was part of the initiation. Yes.
to do. Yeah, yeah.
You performed at shelters, nursing homes, even diners, Waffle House. When did you realize that comedy was your calling now?
Probably after the first time I did it, it was
Mm.
very. I felt something, I felt like it just felt like I, as cliche as it sounds, it was like you ever see somebody and you're like you just love them. So it felt like that. It was just a very meaningful experience and just felt right. And yeah, it hasn't gone away since.
As I mentioned, you perform at homeless shelters. That's no small feat. You are trying to give people joy. Your first set at a shelter was actually during a tornado warning. What did
Uh-huh.
it feel like to make people laugh during a crisis?
That felt the most right ever. That
Yeah.
it was an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. It was in Tupelo, Mississippi, of all places, which is like the birthplace of Elvis.
Yeah.
And I was just going through, and I was at a library trying to pick up some like audiobooks for the road. And a tornado thing came in. Everybody's leaving, and some people went home. Some people went across the street, and I just thought, oh, this would be funny. It wasn't nothing altruistic. I just thought this would be ridiculous. Let me try this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the reasoning behind it. And then I went through the whole process. Like I had to go and ask everybody and like see the chain of command and Salvation Armies, which are really interesting. Uh, they were all very nice, and the performance was just for a small group of people, and uh, you just see it was like I saw the purpose of comedy to really levity. That's really what it is. It's to give people to bring them up in times when they're down. It was like a very scary moment. And there was one thing that happened. Sometimes I don't talk about it just because it's so weird. I had this joke about like an anechoic chamber or a
Yeah.
place where no sound comes in.
Yeah.
And when I said no sound, I can't remember the exact thing, but when I said something that explained what it was, and the moment I said no sound, it got quite like thunder stopped. It was crazy, and it wasn't just me that saw it. It was me and this whole group, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" And it was a very palpable, weird moment where everything aligned,
Yeah.
and that's what I remember most about it. Is how precious that moment was, and it wasn't any I thought it would just be silly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
was a very powerful moment for me.
I love that you said comedy's a remedy because you're right. I find that even from myself. Whenever I'm having a bad day, which isn't often, but whenever I am, you watch your favorite clips of some comedian or you watch your favorite comedy TV show or your comedy movie, and it normally can put you in a really, really good mood. So I love that you're able to use your gift of comedy to help these individuals who are going through a tough times. And yeah, I talked about the hurricane warning or the tornado warning rather, but you also do it through shelters and stuff like that. Is it harder to crack through that emotional wall with those individuals?
Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder because they're experiencing a level of depression that, in the words of Donald Trump, unlike you've never seen before. It's just the greatest level of depression. Yeah, they're so low, so it's very difficult.
That's funny.
Um, yeah, it is harder, and sometimes you have to just like concede that maybe even the fact that a lot of people didn't laugh, or somebody didn't laugh. Like sometimes I'll really focus on somebody that's in that situation, and you can just see how sad they are, and maybe you made them smile a little bit, or you just had them just crack for a second out of that deep,
Yeah.
deep depression. You know, some people that are living in that situation have truly given up on life, and it's rough. It's rough. Yeah. So yes, it can be much harder. Sometimes it can be easier though. So there's people that have. Everybody deals with life differently. Some people, they maybe have given up and they're in a low place, but they just don't give a fuck. So you can say whatever. So
Yeah.
some of it can be kind of easier, but generally, yeah, it was hard for some of those rooms. Yeah.
What motivated you to really do that and go down that path of putting on these sets for homeless people? What motivated you to do that? What light bulb moment was like, I got to go do this?
Well, I always remember that moment that I just described earlier with the shelter and Tupelo, and I never forgot that.
Okay.
And I had this idea, like, to spend a month in Northern California, just seeing what that would be like, to see if I could perform at a few places like that. And I did one, I did another one. I was like, oh, this is kind of something real here. And I just kept doing it. But I got to be completely honest with you, I haven't been doing that the last couple years. So, and
Okay.
it's something that I think about daily, and I feel, yeah, now I'm in California, Los Angeles. I'm a selfish prick, just like everybody else. I walk by homeless people, and I, I try to hit them now. It's not changed, dude. I get, I am violent. No, but I haven't been doing that the last couple of years, really.
Yeah.
Last year for sure.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think about it a lot. It makes me kind of sad that I've not been doing that. But yeah, so I just did a few, and it's so impactful
Yeah.
on me, especially.
Anytime you give some of your time to another person, there is some sort of fulfillment. And yes, we always wish we could do more with our time, right? And that's why I say time is the most valuable asset for sure, because you can't get it back. You can't barter for it. Once you lose an hour, you lose an hour. That's it. I would rather lose all the money I have than lose all the time that I have for sure, because I can always make money. I can't make time. And so I hear what you're saying, but I mean, you are doing a lot of great things with your career right now. You've moved up. I know Nathan told me that now I forget exactly where he said you were, but I think he said you're where I forget the name, but
He might have referenced the groundlings or something like that.
that's
But
what it was. That's what it was.
yeah, well, I'm not like alone. There's levels to that. I'm still in the program. They
Yeah.
haven't kicked me out yet, so that's good.
Okay.
And I'm past some of the basic stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like a conservatory, it's really like an acting conservatory. So at some point, they either say you made it. There's a last point where, like,
Yeah.
you're part of the main company, like a theater company,
Yeah.
or they'd say you've gone far enough, son. And I
Yeah.
just expect that moment every time I'm in there. I expect somebody to put their hand on my shoulder. Hey, this is it for you. Get out.
Console you like they're putting you down like you're a dog, right? They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they do. Yeah,
it's time now. We must
there is a
go.
back area. There's somebody sitting out there with the shotgun. You knew Elvis. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Are you still living in your van? Because he also referenced that too.
Dude, I hesitate to say the truth because it's different when you're not on the road, but this is it's a very nice van now. I've moved up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very nice.
Yeah, you had a bunch of stickers on it. Is that the same one or is it upgraded?
No, that one I couldn't keep it running. It was that's partly why I got off the road, because it's
Yeah.
just I started to have to cancel stuff. And
Yeah.
one thing is to cancel a show at a bar. It's another thing to cancel a show at a family shelter, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to call all the. I like to call them all individually and tell them I like to do FaceTime. I want to see them. I want to I want to make sure
You want to see
I
the
can't come there.
disappointment. Right. You want to
I
see
feel
it.
like it's the right thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I'm sorry, little guy. I just can't be there.
It's
My van's
honorable.
broken down.
Yeah, it's honorable. What caused you to want to be a nomad in that sense, though? Because I don't think too many people want to leave the comfort of where they are, if you even had any. So, what caused you originally? Like, obviously, I'm bringing it back, but what caused you to want to take that path? Was it just you loved to travel? You wanted to see scenic routes? Like, what possessed you to want to do that?
I don't know. I think it really is something deep down, and I think I've like somebody in my family had sex with a gypsy or something like that, and it's part of my soul. It's like, I've got gypsy blood inside me, so don't upset me. I'll curse you. I think it was really maybe the Appalachian Trail.
Mm,
I think that might have been. It alters a lot of people like to do that, to to live like that,
yeah.
and you're just it's the most nomadic you can be. And what really caused me to do it was just to get more stage time, to practice more, to try to perform as much as possible. So that was the initial reason for it, just to go and perform and get better. Yeah, that's the only way to get good at stand up, to do it more. And eventually, in any city you're at, you exhaust some of the opportunities you have there. So
Yeah.
that was the real reason.
I'm still bringing it back there for a second. You were having people donate socks and underwear as a cover. Why did you choose that? Because I think that that's just honestly, that's an awesome thing that you did, my friend. So I just want to know, why did you want to give back in that way?
I I'm not, I don't, I think it's the easiest thing for people to do, and they might not know me, so giving me money they might not feel as comfortable. So,
Yeah,
I can't squander the socks and underwear.
yeah,
Um, the way that worked, and this was for years, it was like for 4 years that I was doing that. It was really a huge portion of my life. So I would go and I would book regular venues, work out a deal with the venue, and then ask people to bring socks and underwear. So that was like the regular show I would do, and I could do whatever I wanted there. And then in the surrounding areas, or in the city, usually is where I would try to get this shelters or soup kitchens to allow me to perform, and I would bring those things there, or I would just go and take all the stuff that I would get at the various shows and stuff, and just hand it out.
mm,
And it feels good to help and to give something concrete.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I wasn't saving lives, dude. I wasn't not it's just socks and underwear at the end of the day, and it's not like what some of these people really do with some of these programs that really turn people's lives around. Like there's people that have dedicated their life to really to helping, and it's really rough because the reality of it is only a few people really make it out. It's a
mm,
smaller percentage of people that are chronically homeless that actually get out. So I think those are the real heroes. I would just get the socks and I would, give them to the homeless, and I'd have sex with them or whatever. But I would, I'll do what I got to do.
hey, you got to do what you got to do. You're right about that. Before I switch into the burning question segment, I want to hear from you. What's on tap? What do you got planned? What are you working on? What shows you have? What's on tap for Elvis?
Online stuff. That seems to be what we're working on now. Me and I have a group of people that were Goose Sketch Comedy.
Hmm.
Check us out. You can go to my Instagram. We're making some content. Go to
Yeah.
at Elvis Comedy. So that's on tap. I might. We'll find out. I've got a semester left. I dropped out of college. I used to go to school in Massachusetts.
Where'd you go?
I went to Amherst College, and I dropped out like an idiot, which
Yeah.
is the dumbest thing you can do there. My last semester, and I might have an opportunity to go back and finish the last one and get my bachelor's. So
Oh,
that might happen at the end of this year.
oh shit. Okay.
It's a big deal.
That
Big
is a
deal for
big
my
deal.
family.
Yeah. That is a big
Yeah.
deal, man. That's awesome. Okay, cool. You got any shows coming up or anything like that?
No, no shows. It's just all this online shit. That's what everything's moving to. So
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no live shows. Just a bunch of videos, funny videos. I
Yeah.
made a funny one recently about. Did you see that with
Was
trading
it?
parody?
Yes, I did see. Are you editing your own videos and all that shit?
So yeah, some of the stuff that I put out, yeah, not all the goose stuff. I
Yeah.
don't edit all that, but yeah, a lot of the stuff that I put out, I'm editing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're pretty funny. I encourage anybody to check them out. All right, we're gonna switch into the burning questions now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing something a little different for you. Elvis, explain to me, why do we press harder on the remote when we think the batteries are dead?
It's the same reason we try to have sex with the dead bodies. I don't know. What if you start trying to? You don't want to let go. You want to make sure, I guess.
You want 100% sure? Okay, okay.
Yeah, you set me up for a joke. It sounds like this set up for a punchline.
No, 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 no. This is I got a punchline for you afterwards. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, why did it fall off?
She's poor. I don't know.
Why is it called taking a dump when you actually leave a dump? Because you're not taking it, you're leaving it.
Wow, that's so poetic.
Yeah, isn't it? Right? I'm very profound. I'm feeling that way today.
It's an act of giving.
You're giving a dump.
Charitable moment. Yes.
That's right. Okay, so here's a riddle that I wrote for you. All right?
Okay.
Don't overthink it. Face value. Just answer what you think.
Okay.
How many beaks does 4 black hens have?
4 or 8. I don't know if you're counting the 2, but yeah.
No,
4.
no, you're
Let's
right.
go
You're
4.
right. 4. Yep. How many wings do all 4 of them, all 4 black hens have?
8.
Okay, nice. How about feet?
8 feet.
8. Yep. Yep.
Hoops or whatever.
Yep. How many teeth does a white cat have?
I don't know. I'm not sure how many the teeth in a cat.
You seem to know a lot about black cocks, but not a lot about white pussy.
You son of a bitch, dude.
Tell me that was a good one, right? Come on, come on.
You fucking piece of shit. How dare you? I know plenty about both black cock and white pussy.
How dare you insult my intelligence? I know plenty about both, and you're over here just saying that I only know one. How dare you? All right, buddy. Tell me about that time when you left the turtle in Nathan's house. That is hilarious. When he said that, I almost passed out. What compelled you to want to do that?
Listen, I gotta be honest. I heard that. I don't remember what the hell he's talking about. I have no clue what he's talking about. This
You
is
have
this is a thing in my life. Sometimes people bring up stuff like, "Remember when you did this?" I'm like, I suppose you do, because I don't remember leaving a turtle in Nathan's house. We should try to ask him. I don't know.
he told me that you just had a 4-foot fucking tortoise and you just put it in there and then you put it in a and not in a closet, in a drawer, and that his dog was freaking out because his dog was just barking because he heard it trying to claw out, and he was like, "What
Sounds
the
crazy,
fuck?"
man. That sounds crazy to me.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when I heard him say that, I go, I have to talk to this person. Who the fuck? Because that one, fucking hilarious. 2, I need to know what happened. So you have no memory of this.
I have literally zero recollection of this.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know. Uh, I I hope the turtle's alive. I don't know. What did he do with it? You should ask him.
We should ask him. I got to follow up with him on that. I'll text him and be like, hey, buddy, I want to know what did you do with that turtle? I got to figure this out now. You know what? I'm going to make it part of my life's mission to figure out this turtle story because I need to get to the bottom of it. I can't name the source who originally told me that story because when I brought it up to him, I had asked the source for that story. And a good journalist, they don't share their sources. So I had a source that told me that story. He told me it was true. You have no recollection. Maybe he has another friend, Elvis, at this point. Maybe that's, maybe
I don't know. Or
that we don't
maybe I'm
know.
hiding something. You got to do your. Maybe I'm hiding something.
Maybe you are. Maybe you're over here for moosing me. That's what, yeah, I got to figure
Maybe.
this out. I got to figure this out. Elvis, dude, thank you so much for taking the time, sitting and chopping it up with me. Where can people find you, follow you, all that shit? Plug yourself in. I want to hear about your Pornhub account, OnlyFans, last 4 digits of your social, your mom's maiden name. I feel like we got to be better friends. So why don't you tell me all that, and I'll write it down. I'll jot it down.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. How do you steal my identity? Let me know. Everything is on elviscomedy.com, and most social media handles are at Elvis Comedy.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
elviscomedy.com. It could lead you to all that. I even have a TikTok.
You do.
elviscomedy.com.
You're
That's it.
forever a friend, man. I just sworn you in. You don't need to shave your head. You already did that. I just need you to shave your eyebrows, okay? If you want to be a part of the Reyes Reflection group, you got to shave your eyebrows, okay?
Okay, yeah, you got it.
You look like a real skinhead. No, where
Jesus Christ, dude.
you are amazing, man. You're forever a friend of the show. You're awesome, man. I appreciate you for doing this. Thank you so much, my friend.
Likewise, thank you.
That is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection Podcast. Big thanks to our sponsors, ARAVE Cards, Jocko Fuel, Mad Rabbit, Tattoo Aftercare, and Smackin' Sunflower Seeds for supporting today's episode. And to all the listeners, remember, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah with a dong, and I love you all. Do you have a closing? Do you have an exit? An outro?
An outro for you or me? Which one?
Let's hear it. I want to hear your outros. I want to hear it. You do an outro for the show.
Well, I just hope people keep listening to you because you've got a real lovely way of connecting with people, and you got a good heart and a good soul. It's very obvious. So you would do great with troubled individuals. I think you got to invite more just wacky, wild people.
All
But
right.
just keep listening to the Reyes Reflection. This is a wonderful show, and it's getting better and better and better.